The Chernobyl meltdown and explosion is by far the worst nuclear disaster the world has ever seen. If you're over 30, you've heard of the famous Soviet disaster of Chernobyl. If you haven't, here is a recap. On April 26, 1986, about 1:23 a.m., reactor number 4 overheated and exploded. That released a radioactive cloud that ended up killing 3 people immediately and several thousand directly from radiation. The exact number is still a bit of a debate. It also caused untold troubles for much of Europe. The meltdown created a fear of nuclear power that still exists today, but many of the more interesting integral facts have not been widely publicized. Here are 10 things I find really interesting. The 1986 Chernobyl accident. All 4 Chernobyl reactors were cooled by water, and in the case of losing this coolant, it overheated instead of shutting itself down. This faulty and unstable design, coupled with a human factor of bad technical judgment and speedy decisions made by engineers, led to the explosion in the 4th reactor. Prompted by a desire to experiment with a turbine generator's ability to pump water in an inert state, reactor engineers increased the power of the generator while severely decreasing most of the safety measures. A state of no control followed, a reaction was poisoned, water boiled, and the emergency cooling system was purposefully shut down. Finally, realizing the critical conditions, operators took measures to reduce the reactivity by using graphite control rods. It was a deadly mistake, as graphite only increased the reaction by displacing water from the rod channels. In the early morning of April 26, 1986, the 4th reactor exploded. About 200 to 300 tons of water per hour was injected into the intact half of the reactor using the auxiliary feed water pumps, but this was stopped after half a day owing to the danger of it flowing into and flooding units 1 and 2. From the 2nd to 10th day after the accident, some 5,000 tons of boron, dolomite, sand, clay, and lead were dropped onto the burning core by helicopter in an effort to extinguish the blaze and limit the release of radioactive particles. In the early hours of that spring day, all hell broke loose and hundreds of firefighters were attempting to stop the generator fire. Approximately 300 tons of water pumped every hour into the remaining part of the generator, which was damaged beyond repair. According to the World Nuclear Association, they stopped after half a day due to the danger of flooding reactors 1 and 2. In the following days, the exploded reactor was still burning, so about 5,000 tons of boron, clay, sand, dolomite, and lead were poured over it by helicopters in an effort to stop the fires and cover the radioactive elements. After the blast, the real killers come in the form of radioactive isotopes transmitted by dust particles floating in the air and falling to the ground. Radioactive iodine is one of the most dangerous because it can quickly be accumulated in the thyroid gland, leading to thyroid cancer and death. If you have enough natural iodine stored in your thyroid, then radioactive iodine won't accumulate. But if people are starved of natural iodine, like those who live in areas of iodine-poor soils, they are particularly at risk. This is why relief efforts begin by giving iodine pills to people in affected areas, trying to prevent accumulation of radioactive iodine in their bodies. Fortunately, iodine 131 has a half-life of only 8 days, so the threat does not pose a long-term problem. Radioactive fauna. While countless birds and animals were initially killed by the radiation, current living conditions for wild animals in the exclusion zone are not so conclusive. While there are fewer species of birds and some present have been severely physically affected, smaller brains and deformed beaks, some other species are actually thriving. With no humans around, Pripyat became a haven for wolves, beavers, and other animals looking to make a home in the ghost town. Chernobyl is one of the most memorable disasters of the 20th century. Leave a thumbs up on this video if you did that. It does help massively with the algorithm. It helps me release more exciting videos for you to see. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, smash the like button, and ring a notification bell. What is your overall opinion of this video? Don't forget to share your opinion below. Bye friends, and see you soon.